AskReddit by Eurus18. How did you waste your 20s? Deleted. I'm 28 and this is basically me. Could be a lot worse, but I've basically wasted my college degree, spent 8 years stuck in a dead-end retail job that I don't even like, but I'm comfortable enough that I haven't taken the initiative to make a change. That big leap always seemed too scary, so I stuck with the safe and comfortable, always with an excuse as to why I'm not moving on. It's always I'll look for a better job next year, and then a setback happens and I push that goal further down. Now I'm staring down 30 and career-wise I'm basically in the same place I was at 19. Got a wife and a house though, so that's cool. But I wish I had spent my 20s focusing on my career a bit more. Most of my college friends make double what I do and it's kinda embarrassing sometimes. Too much drinking. Didn't take uni, personal development, work, family, anything seriously. I wasn't up in late 20s but often think what I might have achieved by now if I wasn't a drunk mess from ages 18-28. Basically this. Prioritized partying, girls, trying to be cool, trying to be friends with everyone even pieces of shit, and earning money. Forgot about my health, my sanity, and my real relationships. Stopped all that some years ago. Have a kid now. I'm content spending the next 10-20 years on my child, my health, and my real relationships. Severe depression and shitty job. Emphasis on the severe depression. It's like I went into a daze and woke up and it had been a decade. Don't even remember most of it. It's like life has been living me and amp, not the other way around. I prioritized money over school. I thought that $10 per hour was so much. I also unfortunately stayed at this job until I turned 30 and then it hit me. I didn't want to be there when I was 60 plus and I needed to do better with my life. Did you go back to school? Staying in a relationship where I sacrificed my own dreams to help my partner through addiction. I thought they would change. They didn't. Now spending my 30s focusing on myself and pursuing my dreams. I'm now giving myself the sacrifice I need to have the life I want. I'm shutting myself in my room aggressively working towards my goals and will not stop until I have achieved my goals. I'm going to the top. Hope it's not too late. My ex wasn't an addict, but I also spent too much time hoping he'd magically turn into who I wanted him to be, a person who actually valued and paid attention to me plus my wants and needs. It took me 5.5 years to figure out that growing up sometimes means growing apart, and that it's not always a bad thing. A revolution when I was 20, curfews and years of political and economic instability plus COVID and lockdowns when I was 29. And just like that, my 20s were gone. Where are you from? I'm sorry for what you've gone through. Drugs and alcohol. Same. Was a total blur. 28M. I honestly thought I had wasted my 20s, but I've come to realize I've been fighting through a difficult set of circumstances. When I was 20 my ex-GF's grandpa was murdered. Seemed to set off a whole series of negative events. A few weeks later her stepdad died, and amp, my sister had a failed suicide attempt in the same 12-hour period, and then my sister slipped into drug addiction for about 8 years. I ended up being single for a long time, just helping run my dad's company until COVID. When COVID hit I decided to go back to school. During this period my dad suddenly passed away from cancer, which really broke me down to my core. It feels like the past 8 years have been a blur, and it's hard to see how I've progressed besides nearly finishing my degree. I haven't had a GF in 4 years, I'm absolutely broke, my nuclear family is in disarray. It all feels like a mess. I'm working through therapy as it seems I've developed MDD. I just really hope my 30s bring some peace for myself and others who are pondering what must have been a turbulent few years. I'm also 28. Haven't been through nearly as much as you, but we got this. Keep going and don't give up, friend. I bought a lot of dumb stuff. Should have saved more money and invested more. Best thing I ever taught myself was to have my contributions auto-invested the day my paychecks hit my bank account to prevent me from doing impulsive shit. I wasted my 20s by not addressing my mental health issues. I let anxiety and other struggles derail me. I wasted opportunities, neglected friendships, and stayed in unhealthy relationships because of what I believe was untreated anxiety and addict. If I could do it over, I'd want to be in a healthy place mentally and really focus on maintaining friendships and pursuing career goals. Hung out with the same clique from high school and drank quite a lot of beer. Failed to strike out on my own in an intelligent way. Failed to capitalize on the opportunities that I had handed to me. I just didn't see them because I couldn't see the larger perspective on things. Don't get me wrong, I had a blast too. Prioritized social life, going out, trying to get girls over everything else, as was making up for my teenage nerdy virgin years. I paid for that with zero career progression. It's funny that another comment basically said they regret doing the exact opposite of you. I guess everything in moderation. 28 and no job, no money, no friends and chronically single. I feel like this is the reality for way more folks than people realize. We're so friggin' isolated. I could spout bullshit advice, but I don't know your circumstances, so it's not my place. But I wish you the best all the same. I'm 22 yo now. I went to prestigious university in my own country when I was 17. The major was the Japanese language and it was pretty perspective to work in translation sphere in Vladivostok where I'm from. I was just a normal student that had gotten an opportunity to study in Japan and would make my career there, but in the case of war I had to cancel my plans. Parents had lost their jobs and I decided to make my own money. After months of working as a bartender I tried amphetamine and became a junkie. Whole last year I spent in a shitty trip. It was May 2023 when I quit drugs and started a whole new life, had no will to live. My family and friends refused me when I had a severe depression. After all I've been through I've decided to risk it and start over. Now I enrolled in the Chinese university. I'm looking for going there in February and really excited about it. Also I've installed Reddit to practice English. Well, your English is great. I achieved totally nothing. Nothing. Story of almost everyone lol. Wasted on medical school, to the point I started doing all kind of bad habits, smoking, drinking, etc. Failing many exams that I gave up around the 4th year. Another year of psychological treatments. Now I'm 30, second honorary Bachelor of Accounting graduate. Waiting for a job opportunity. Great redemption arc. Congrats on your degree. I was in a 9-year abusive relationship. I didn't have a good model of what relationships should look like and I thought they were just supposed to suck, so I just dealt with it until I realized that's not how it's supposed to work at all. Same. Except mine was 6 years. Living the gamer lifestyle, got super fat and isolated, playing games, no dating. Bit of partying, best 5 years of my life, though still getting fat was a horrible mistake. Edit. Guys, stop showering me in ways to lose weight. I forgot to mention, that was 2007 to 2012. I have lost weight and built muscles during the last decade. All about balance. Family, so, health first then dump it into games or mayo. Just here for the comments as a 24-year-old, so don't mind me. Almost to my 40s, and while I pissed away my 20s like most people, looking back now I can see that it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you don't have a whole lot going for you. 20s are a good time to learn what works for you and what doesn't, to make mistakes and do better next time. Generally speaking, stupid mistakes cost more the older you get because you have more to lose. Never quite figured out what I wanted to do with my life and was hyper obsessed with hitting normal milestones like getting a six-figures job, finding a significant other, gritting my teeth to pursue an industry I felt zero passion for since it was the supposedly safe choice, and staying in a city I hated because I felt too ashamed to start over after investing so much time. I realized after 600 plus job apps that I hated what I was doing. The school I attended to develop skills was a diploma mill, and I was 28, feeling miserable, unfulfilled, and overweight. I snapped. A year later, I'm now starting my career as a professional voice actor with my first demo in its final stages of production. I've dropped 30 pounds and am no longer pre-diabetic. I've managed to save up to 5 figures for the first time, and I'm moving to Tokyo next month to pursue language school and hopefully settle in Japan for a while. My 20s sucked. My 30s are gonna kick ass. Sounds like you spent your 20s finding yourself and amp who you were and amp your 30s you're creating yourself. Nothing wrong with that. May get downvoted, but having kids. I should have waited. Should have started a career. Instead I'm stuck as a stay-at-home mom because we can't afford childcare. Don't get me wrong, I love my kids more than life itself, but I should have waited. Deleted. I am focused on studying. I'm not saying that college is a waste, but I want to do more than that. I feel like I wasted my 20s trying to get into my degree to then waste my 30s to complete my degree. I know grass is always greener, but damn do I wish I had done half the crazy shit the people on this sub are saying they did. Studying for a degree then working in that related field but ended up regretting due to poor career prospects, salary and progression. What do you do if I may ask? Working, gaming and smoking weed. Depression and unfulfilling jobs with long periods of unemployment.